Of you here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's cheer on the sixes. This is the Mare division. We are welcoming from Little Jackson Hole, Wyoming, the entry of Jackson Fork Ranch. Round Pounder Perch Runs from Granite Falls, Minnesota, making their way in next with Joe Dolan. We're welcoming the entry of Blue Ribbon Days, owned by the Day family, the Clevey family, and Mr. Dittmar. Dean Woodbury on the lines. Followed in the arena by Silver Creek Farms, making their way in. We're going to have one more entry that will complete this class. Silver Creek Farms joining us from Belle Plaine, Minnesota, just down the road. Our final entry making their way in, that is the entry of Black Brook Perch Runs joining us from Wisconsin. David exhibiting on the rail at the trot. Jackson Fork going to be starting our reverse. Mr. Ross Hansberger leading our hitches at the diagonal. And we're going to bring you down to the walk, please. Drivers down to the walk. Our nice steady walk by our exhibitors. Our judges watching how quickly they respond. We're now going to put you back into the trot, drivers. Spacing yourselves out, working at the trot, please. Jackson Fork making the way around. We'll start our lineup. When you get down to Merv, we will be lining up with Jackson Fork Ranch. Our drivers all finding that spot in the center of the arena. The drivers making the turn, coming into the quick stop. We're going to have 2 heats to our 6-horse hitch. Heat number 1 now making their way into the arena. Heat number 1. Again, we are going to have a total of 2 divisions to our Mare 6-horse hitch. Let's give these exhibitors a nice round of applause as we welcome the first section of our Mare 6-horse hitches. Our Mare 6-horse hitch class sponsored by the Holmes County Percheron Enthusiast. As we welcome our sponsors to these classes, this Mare 6-horse hitch class sponsored by the Holmes County Percheron Enthusiast. They are a group of breeders, owners, trainers, exhibitors, and supporters from the heart of Ohio's Percheron community who share a passion for preserving and promoting the Percheron breed. Working together, this group proudly sponsored these championship classes at our World Percheron Congress as a way of giving back to the industry that has meant so much to them. They recognize that the continued success of the Percheron breed depends on dedicated breeders, trainers, exhibitors, and families who invest countless hours caring for and showing and promoting these remarkable horses. They also extend their sincere appreciation to everyone who exhibits the Percherons at our North America event. The commitment you show to showcasing the breed creates opportunities for breeders, trainers, and businesses while inspiring future generations to become involved with these magnificent horses. The Holmes County Percheron Enthusiasts are honored to support the World Percheron Congress and congratulate all of today's exhibitors for their dedication, their sportsmanship, and the passion for the Percheron horse. Our judge, Mr. Rob Gardner, seen every entry in this first section for our Mare 6-horse hitch. We are going to soon be seeing Heat 2. We are going to be opening the gates, starting with David. We will be dismissing these entries out to your right. We'll see them all back in for our final placings, but making their way out first, that is the Blackbrook Percherons. Blackbrook Percherons from Clear Lake, Wisconsin. David Larson and Johnny Josephson on the seat. Silver Creek Farms making their way out next. That is the Fahey family with Jamie Schubert exhibiting. Blue Ribbon Days making their way out next under the guidance of Mr. Dean Woodbury. Mr. Joe Dolan on the seat for the Ground Pounders. Ground Pounders from Granite Falls, Minnesota. And Mr. Ross Hansberger doing the driving for the Jackson Fork Ranch entry. Again, we thank our friends from the Home County Perch Run Enthusiasts for sponsoring this class featuring our Mare 6-horse hitch. Now tomorrow, make sure to get yourself here early to get a good seat. Tomorrow we'll combine the gelding 6-horse hitch with the Mare 6-horse hitch. We're already worried how we're going to fit them all in this arena, but we will be saluting our overall championship 6-horse hitch class tomorrow, bringing the mares and the geldings together. Our next section ready to make their way in. From Guthrie, Oklahoma, we are welcoming the Zubrod Percherons with Miss Kenzeth Zubrod on the lines. From West Cliff, Colorado, we are welcoming the Yoder Hay and Horses with Mr. Enos Yoder. Joining us from Canada, it is the Silver Oak Percherons from Verdun, Manitoba, with Ethan exhibiting. We are welcoming Mr. Chad Cole on the lines for the Penwood Percherons, joining us from Center Hall, Pennsylvania. Arcola Ranch is all the way from Arizona with Leon Yoder exhibiting. Our gates are closed. On the rail at the trot, please. On the rail at the trot. Zubrod will be starting our reverse with Kenzeth. Our driver's making that smooth reverse, changing the direction that everyone is working. This is going to give our judge the opportunity to see both sides of the hitches and also for both sides of these horses to work up against the railing. Our judge looking for consistency, looking for 6 horses that are working together. And down to the walk, please. Down to the walk, drivers. All walk. And now back into the trot. Space yourselves moving at the trot, please. This is their final lap as they make their way around. Cheer on your favorite. Miss Kenseth will be going all the way down to our ring steward. We're going to start lining up with Miss Kenseth. We're going to line our arena with our 10 entries in the 6-horse hitch division. What a fast-paced group, ladies and gentlemen. Give them a nice round of applause as our second and final division to our Mare 6-horse hitches make their way in. In this class, our judge, again, looking at the performance of these horses on how well they work together. 3 individual teams making up our 6-horse hitch. We have the wheel team, which is the team closest to the wagon. They are the largest of the teams. And as you can see, they have a little bit more harness. They have that piece of leather going around the rump of the horse. That is the britchin. That allows that wheel team to back the wagon and make the turns. In the middle, we have our swing team. And that team in the middle, as you can imagine, must be very even-tempered as they have horses both behind and in front of them. And then the team out front, that is the lead team. And as the name implies, they lead this hitch around the arena. They are the first seen by the judges, first seen by the spectators. Your lead team will be your smallest as they cover the greatest distance, but they are also going to be your most animated and your most powerful. All 3 of those teams have a role to do, but consistency is king. All 3 teams must work together. As we recognize our Holmes County Percheron enthusiasts, we want to say a special thank you once again for sponsoring our Mare 6. Our judge, Mr. Rob Gardner, making notes on his card. Again, in this class, we will be placing it in its entirety. We are going to recognize our friends from Holmes County sponsoring this class, and that includes True Tone Stables, Eli Miller, Albert Miller, Double Creek Farms, Calmo Percherons, Alpine Valley Percherons, Springwater Farms, Sylvia Percherons, that is Freeman Jones and Mark Yoder, Stark Valley Percherons, Spring Hill Services, Trico, which is Wyman Yoder, J.W. Percherons, Breezy Meadow Farm, Hilltop Percherons, Hidden View Percherons, MRM Percherons, SF Percherons, Arbor Fit, Sugar Creek Farm, John Klein, Mount Hope Auction, and Dublin Valley Farms. We are going to have a redrive, and in that redrive, we are going to keep Enos. So the Yoder Hay Company is going to stay. We're going to open the gates, starting with Arcola Ranch. Remaining entries will go out to your right. We will see them all back in for final placings, but ladies and gentlemen, let's take this second division of our Mare Sixes out with a nice round of applause. Arcola Ranches making their way out, followed by the Penwood Percherons, Silver Oak Percherons joining us from Canada, and the entry of the Zubrod family making their way out. We give a big shout out to our ground crew working outside to make sure that these horses are in and out safely. They have a tough job of constantly maneuvering hitches and getting the classes staged for the next. So thank you going out to the Hegemans and to the Iowa boys for working hard out in the back. All right, we are going to have 3 entries for our drive off. We already have 1 entry, the Yoder Hay and Horses entry with Enos Yoder is stayed in from that division. We're going to bring 2 back from the first group. 3 entries, ladies and gentlemen, are going for the gold. We ask that you will pick out your favorite and cheer them on. Our judge again joining us from Canada, Mr. Rob Gardner, going to see 3 entries as we crown your world champion in the Percheron Mare 6-horse hitch division. Enos joining us from Colorado, staying here in the arena. Your first drive-off contender making their way down the chute. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the entry of Blue Ribbon Days, Mr. Dean Woodbury on the lines. One more. Please welcome from Little Jackson Hole, Wyoming, the entry of Jackson Fork Ranch. These 3 entries now on the rail at the trot. Make some noise, ladies and gentlemen. This is your drive off. Now we are going to be reversing with Enos down on the far corner. Enos, you're going to start reversing on the opposite corner this time. We're going all the way down and reversing with the Yoder entry. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we have our Fan of the Night contest tonight. If you're cheering loud and proud, you could be our Fan of the Night. You see our drivers guiding these hitches across the arena at the diagonal. not breaking stride. Yoder hay will be lining up when you get around to our ring steward. We are going to be lining up with the Yoder entry. Drivers coming in nice and tight as we are bringing all entries back in. They were in it to win it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do our part and cheer on our drive-off contenders. We are going to be opening the gates and we are going to feed back into the arena those remaining 7 entries. Again, our sincere thank you going out to the Holmes County Percheron enthusiasts. They do great things for our percheron industry. Some of the best come out of the heart of Ohio, and we appreciate each and every one of them. Ground pounders making their way back in. Blackbrook Percherons making their way in. Next, we're going to be welcoming in the entry of Silver Creek Farm right here in Belle Plaine, Minnesota. Arcola Ranch making their way in. This hitch making the trip from Arizona to be a part of our World Percheron Congress. Penwood Percherons making their way back in, making the trip from Pennsylvania. Silver Oak Percherons joining us from Manitoba. Miss Kinsit Zubrod doing the driving for the Zubrod Percherons. What a way to kick off our show tonight. Welcoming all of our 6-horse hitches back into the arena. Our Pee Wee carts will be on deck, followed by the gelding 4. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our exhibitors have done their work. It is our time to salute these exhibitors, the crews, the horses who make our show a success. Let's make some noise for your Mare 6-horse hitches. And we do have our veteran drivers out there, but it is also nice to see some of these younger drivers that we know are going to be continuing to work with our heavy horses and work in our percheron industry. So nice to have them here. And again, what an assortment. Veteran drivers, young drivers, all alike saluting the percheron mares. We're going to have our judges' decision in just a moment. We are very excited to have some of our Holmes County percheron enthusiasts joining us, and they will be helping our beautiful queens make the presentation. In this class, ladies and gentlemen, we have our top 10 entries, each entry receiving their awards. We are very honored to have our family members from the Holmes County Percheron Enthusiasts joining us. We have Abe representing Dublin Valley and Dennis with Hidden View Percherons making their way to the arena to help with our awards. In 10th position today is entry number 1420. That is the entry of Blackbrook Percherons, joining us from Clear Lake, Wisconsin, with Mr. David Larson. In 9th place today, the award is going to go to entry number 3012. That is the entry of the Silver Creek Farms. That is the entry of the Fahey family. Matt and Missy Fahey and family from Belle Plaine, Minnesota. Jamie Schubert doing the driving, Colin riding with him. Thank you so much for being a part of our World Percheron Congress. In 8th place, the award's going to go to number 2808. That is the entry of Arcola Ranch, all the way from Santan Valley, Arizona. Mr. Leon Yoder doing the driving. Nice job. Our 7th place award today will be number 2263. That is Silver Oak Percherons making the trip from Virden, Manitoba, Canada. That is the Strain family entry with Mr. Ethan Strain doing the driving. In 6th place today, our award going to entry number 2611. That is the entry of the Ground Pounder Percherons from Granite Falls, Minnesota. Mr. Joe Dolan, the manager and the driver, doing the driving for the Fagan family. We appreciate them. Nice job by the Ground Pounders. In 5th place today, the honors going to entry number 1413. That is the entry of Penwood Percherons, making the trip from Center Hall, Pennsylvania. Staples in our Percheron industry with Mr. Chad Cole doing the driving. Congratulations. In 4th place, the award going to entry number 1310. That is the entry of the Zubrod Percherons, joining us from Guthrie, Oklahoma. Our only female driver. She is a very young, talented lady. Kenza Zubrod on the lines for the entry of the Zubrod Percherons. At our last World Percheron Congress, she was still showing in the youth classes. Today, she comes back piloting that 6-horse hitch like she's done it her entire life. Congratulations to Kenza Zubrod. We're now moving into your drive-off contenders. Ladies and gentlemen, in 3rd place today, entry number 1260, the entry of Blue Ribbon Days. That is the entry owned by the Clevey family, the Day family, and the Ditmars. One of the greatest in our industries, Mr. Dean Woodbury on the lines. And then there were 2. Ladies and gentlemen, our reserve and our world champion now in the arena. The reserve honors going home to Colorado. That is the entry of the Yoder family. Mr. Enos Yoder and the Yoder Hay and Horses Company of Westcliff, Colorado, capturing your reserve world title. Making their way around for the award. Again, we are welcoming for our awards, Abe representing Dublin Valley and Dennis representing Hidden View Percherons. They're helping our Queen Sophia and Bethany make the award. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that leaves one in the center arena. Your world champion in our 6-horse hitch. Congratulations, the award going to number 1771. That is the entry of Jackson Fork Ranch, joining us from Little Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Ross and Nicole Hansberger, the driving force behind these Percheron mares. Making their way around like poetry in motion. Our Percheron mares coming for their award. Our Queen Sophia and Bethany presenting your world championship to the entry of Jackson Fork Ranch. Queen Sophia and Queen Bethany climbing up on the seat. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of your class sponsor, the Holmes County Percheron Enthusiasts, we present to you your world champion Mare 6-horse hitch. Mr. Ross Hansberger on the lines. Take them out with a nice round of applause. Ross ready to make the turn into that Blue Ribbon Championship drive. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, your world champion, Mare 6-horse hitch. Congratulations to the Jackson Fork Ranch with Mr. Ross Hansberger.